Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful round basket. This one I'm making for myself. As you can see, I can place my paint in it, but you can really use it wherever you want, in the kitchen, on your table, in the bedroom, whatever is suitable for you. So I'm going to use a multicolored yarn which I purchased in Poland. As you can see, the full pack will have 100 meters, but here I have approximately 80 as I used a bit already. The actual yarn is cotton and inside has a polyester filling, as you can see. And I'm going to add a gray edges at the end. So as you can see, this is how the box with my paints looks like. This is just like the smallest bottles that I have, and I need to have some kind of basket for them. So we're going to start from making something that it's called a magic loop. So as you can see, I crossed the rope on my fingers, creating two lines, and I placed my crochet hook through the first one and pulled the other one in. So this way we will lock the first bit. And now what we do, we place the crochet hook again through the rope and create a knot. So we need to tighten it quite hard in order for for the beginning, for the first knot that we created to be really secure. And so now what we're going to do is the first bit, we're going to take it out, and we're going to continue making another knots on the ring that we already created. So we will make 7 of the knots around that ring. So we're placing the crochet hook through the loop and below the line, and then we're grabbing another bit and we pull it through the through the new loop. And that way we created the first knot, and we're going to do the same thing all the way around. So the second one, and the third one now. And the fourth one. And the first rope is as you can see kind of shortens the more knots we do. So what you can do is just pull on it, and that way you close the magic loop. And that way you close the first circle, and at the same time tighten the the middle, the beginning of the base of our basket. So I'm going to continue the same way all the way around until I made a 7 knots around the around the magic ring. So then, as you can see, we have a little hole in the middle, which we ideally want to close because you want to avoid as much as possible any kind of gaps in the base in the basket. So this looks pretty good already. I'm just gonna need to pull a little bit more of the rope to make the the knitting, the crochet easier for me. So as you can see, we made a 7 knots around the first ring, and now we're going to, in each knot, we're going to place 2 knots on top. So in that way the next circle will be created with 14 knots, right? So as you can see, I'm showing each knot, and in each of those you will need to place you need to place the crochet hook under and just make another knot. So this was the end of our first circle, and now what I'm going to do is close that circle, but making the same knot, but already in the first kind of loop of the second circle. So again, place the crochet hook through all the loops and create the first one. As you can see, I have a pin in here. You can use pretty much everything, bobby pin, whatever you have, just to mark the first loop, because we're going to increase the number of knots with each circle. So in the same loop, as I said, we're making a second knot, and now we have the second, the second loop, and now we're placing crochet hook again, making, pulling the rope, making the first knot, and then in the same space, in the same loop, making a second knot. And this is the way we need to continue all the way around the second circle. So the second round is done, the second circle is done. As you can see, we're finished. Our 14 knots exactly in the place before our pin, right? So we're going to take out the pin, and in the same way we're going to create another knots. So as I said previously, with each circle we'll increase the number of knots we place in each loop. So this time we're going to do in the pattern of 2 1 2 1 2 1 all the way around, while in the previous circle we made it with the pattern 2 2 2 2, in that way creating 14 knots. So with this pattern, while we have 2 1 2 1, we need to end up with making 21 knots in the third circle. So obviously we're marking the first loop, and we're continuing with making the first knot in the first loop. So we create knots in the same way. We're placing the first 2 knots in the first loop, and in the second loop we're going to create 1 knot. Then again we're creating 2 knots in the third loop. Then in the fourth loop we're going to create 1 knot, and this way pretty much all the way around. So our third circle is done, and we have 21 knots around that circle. So this time we're going to create 28 knots around the fourth circle. So we're going to increase the number of singular knots. So as you can see, we're going to make 2 1 1 2 1 1. Well, in the previous one we made it in the pattern of 2 1 2 1. So we're starting the same way, obviously creating the first knot and placing the second knot in the first loop again. Now in the second loop we're going to place single knot, so 1 again, and in the third loop we're going to to create 1 knot again, and then in the fourth loop we're going to create double knot once again, and this way all the way around. So there we go, we created 28 knots in our fourth circle. This time we're going to create 35 knots, so each time we increase by 7. So the same way we're going to make it in with the pattern of 1 1 1, then 2, then 1 1 1 2, 1 1 1 2, and all the way around. But this time, to make the circle more even, I will start from creating 1 singular knot, and then I'm going to create double knot. So and obviously the next pattern will be 1 1 1, then 2 again. So obviously we're marking the first the first loop again. So once we've done our first knot, now we're going to do 2, then 1 1 1 and 2. So there we go. Let's do the double now in our second loop of the fifth circle. So we have one and we're making a second one, and we're going to make single knot in the third loop, and this way pretty much all the way all the way around in this pattern 1 1 1 2. Just a quick reminder though, because we started with a singular, then we went into double straight away, we should finish with 2 single ones at the end of the circle. So yes, let's start making a circle number 6. So this time we're going to make 42 knots around the circle. So we're starting from 2 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 1 2, and all the way around the same way. So we take out the pin again, and we're placing the the crochet hook into the first loop of our 6th circle. So we're going to start from making double in the first loop, and in the second one we're going to make single one, then in the third one single again, 4/5 singles again. So again, that's this is going to be in a ratio 1 to 4, so 1 double and 4 singles all the way around the circle. Good news, this is going to be our last circle for the base of our basket. So the full base is done. Obviously, you can increase the number of knots around the circle to create the base of the basket bigger, and obviously basket itself. But this time we're going to finish the base and start kind of making the vertical walls. So in order to make the round vertical walls, we will just simply need to place 1 knot in each loop all the way around the circle that we created. So in that way, in each circle we'll have 42 knots, and you will see that the wall will start raising vertically, and it will kind of create the roundish kind of shape of the basket itself. So with the 80 meters of the multicolored rope, I made approximately 4 circles of 42 knots, and I'm going to continue with the gray yarn to make the edging of our basket. So the basket is done. We have the gray edging, and now we need to just close the last knot of the final circle. So pretty naturally I'm placing the rope inside the loop, and I'm kind of placing it through the next few loops all the way around the last circle, in order to kind of hide that that last bit of the rope. And obviously at the end you can kind of make a knot to tie it up securely. And 3 2 1, basket ready, and I can place all my paints or perhaps any other accessories later on. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, put your thumbs up and see you next time.